I was blessed to make smart investments,
Yeah.
outside the ring, just in the real estate world and a lot of other places that I was able to put my family in a position that, I took the long road so they could take the short road.
The accountants and lawyers screwed up, so the tax court said, hey, you were too late appealing this. You got to pay us back all the tax plus penalties plus interest. Moral of the story, pay attention to the deadlines on
The real condensed version of it, what happened here?
Well, so Floyd Mayweather wants his dream house, and he was looking at a $139 million property in the hills of Bel Air.
Floyd Mayweather responded emotionally to rumors of bankruptcy and a $500 million IRS debt, dismissing them as false attacks aimed at damaging his reputation. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, he said, clearly frustrated. Defending his wealth, he pointed to his lavish lifestyle. If being bankrupt means owning 2 private jets, 100 buildings, and having the freedom to do whatever I want, then I guess everyone wants to go bankrupt. His response reflects both pride and irritation, as he seeks to silence speculation and reaffirm control over his fortune and legacy, making it clear he remains financially powerful and unbothered.
Portfolios, because I don't know the exact number, because they said if you know how much money you got, you really don't have no money. So if you know how many buildings you got, you don't really have no buildings. So I think I own right now somewhere upwards of 100 buildings or more. And in 99% of my buildings are in New York City. Great team. And God has truly blessed me to put me in a position not just to be able to make a lot of money, but also give back, if not just my time, but also financially.
Floyd Mayweather filed an appeal claiming he couldn't pay his taxes due to being broke, but the IRS rejected it, citing a missed deadline. As a result, he was ordered to pay the original tax debt along with additional penalties. This development fueled further controversy about his financial situation, despite his public claims of immense wealth, luxury assets, and a lavish lifestyle.
So Money Mayweather was jabbed by the IRS here. What happened? Well, he took a large S-corp deduction for legal expense. The merits of that didn't even matter because he missed his appeal deadline of the denial. His accountants and lawyers screwed up, so the tax court said, hey, you were too late appealing this. You got to pay us back all the tax plus penalties plus interest. Moral of the story, pay attention to the deadlines on the IRS letters. Really sad they didn't do it in this case, considering the armies of lawyers and accountants he has. So pay attention, hit your deadlines on audit, otherwise you're going to lose the appeal.
Floyd Mayweather, famous for his extravagant lifestyle and legendary boxing career, has publicly claimed that he has resolved all his IRS tax obligations. However, these statements were called into question when the IRS filed a lawsuit over unpaid debts, exposing a clear contradiction. The legal action raises doubts about the accuracy of Mayweather's claims and suggests he may not be as responsible with his finances as he presents. This development casts a shadow over his assertions of financial stability, hinting that he may have been less than honest about how he manages and maintains his wealth.
Floyd Mayweather is not up to date with the IRS. Shouldn't he be, considering how much money he's made during his career?
Well, in fairness to Mayweather, he did say he's already taken care of this problem. We don't know if that's true or not. We do know that a lien was filed against him by the IRS for back taxes. So let's take a look at what may have happened here. So as an example, when you talk about a boxer specifically having $100 million purse, that's the gross, not the net, because the boxer earns $100 million, and then he has to pay all the people around him and related expenses and so on. So just to kind of go through an example,
Floyd Mayweather frequently highlights that his wealth and reputation are the result of relentless hard work, stating, "I'm not a liar. I work hard to build my name and build my reputation." He has consistently emphasized his commitment to securing his family's financial future and creating generational wealth. According to Mayweather, strategic investments, especially in real estate, have elevated his fortune from 8 figures to 9. However, despite these claims of success, his statements about financial stability contrast with ongoing concerns and controversies, raising questions about whether he's truly managing his earnings as responsibly as he wants the public to.
I need everybody, all the fighters all around the world, MMA boxers, follow this man right here. We get the job done. Money made, y'all know the rest.
Mayweather has previously addressed his tax struggles, notably in 2015 when he faced significant tax-related issues. Nearly a decade later, The persistence of these problems suggests he hasn't been as proactive in resolving his financial obligations as he claims. Despite reportedly earning massive sums, his ongoing inability to settle tax debts points to a deeper, long-standing issue with effectively managing his wealth, raising doubts about the true state of his finances and long-term financial discipline.
At these tax questions, he replies to them by showing on Instagram $26 million, a payment he made to the IRS. By the way, nothing makes your tax payment look shadier than when you're just holding up cash.
Right.
That's not a good look for the IRS. But he showed his actual,
Yeah.
26 million.
Then just pay him. Like, I don't know why, like, he's mad at the media. It's like, oh, you guys are making things up. No, it's leaked that you asked to pay after this fight. Like, you make all this money. If I was Mayweather, not only would I pay them on time, the IRS, I'd tip them. I'd be like, hey, here's what I owe you. Here's a little bit. Get your.
Despite Mayweather's claims that he has the financial means to cover his tax obligations, the IRS continues to pursue payment. Reports indicate that while he has spent substantial amounts on buildings and luxury items, he has failed to prioritize paying his taxes. This raises serious questions about his financial priorities and his commitment to settling debts promptly. It appears that Mayweather's lavish lifestyle and high-profile investments may be taking precedence over his responsibility to manage and resolve his financial obligations.
Government's calling bullshit. They're saying you have the ability to go and sell off property. You have the ability to liquidate some of your assets. You have the ability to go and get a loan to pay off this tax liability. So we're not buying it. So we'll see if this petition does get approved. It's Floyd Mayweather. It probably will get approved. Seeing as how the event that's going to happen in about 60 days is going to generate more than enough money to pay off that tax liability. So it's great reassurance for the IRS. And this is not the first time that Floyd's been in trouble with the IRS. Back in 2008, he had a $6.17 million lien for taxes that he owed in 2007. Right? And this is just a recurring thing. He's had many other instances. Back in 2011, apparently he owed $3.4 million in taxes that were incurred in 2009. So it just seems that whenever the IRS comes for Floyd comes back for a big fight and uses a portion of the earnings to pay off the IRS. Whatever he's earning is also going to have high taxes placed on that as well. And so the following year or 2 years, he finds himself in the same situation. The money man, TMT. What it doesn't tell you though is that it takes money to make money. Right? Back in 2015, the year in question.
Renowned sports commentator Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back in criticizing Floyd Mayweather, expressing deep disappointment. Once a fan of Mayweather, Smith said the boxer's habit of flaunting his wealth while ignoring ongoing IRS issues was hard to overlook. His disillusionment reflects a growing sentiment among the public, questioning Mayweather's priorities and the disconnect between his image and his actions.
Kind of sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it. John Gotti III, I don't know anything about him. I'm not trying to disrespect him. And yes, I'm being smart. I'm not trying to disrespect the grandson of a mobster. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your pristine space. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about on the street or anything like that. Boxing is your
Mayweather has frequently boasted about his financial success, claiming he earned over $400 million from just 2 major fights against Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez. The 2015 bout with Pacquiao alone generated over $400 million in revenue, with Mayweather reportedly pocketing a significant share. Despite these enormous earnings, the IRS filed a lien against him for $22.2 million in unpaid taxes, casting doubt on his financial management skills and raising concerns about his ability to handle such vast wealth responsibly.
And then they say that he's fighting for money. How could that be?
Your team. It's all about who you surround yourself with. I don't know who's his promoter. I gave him the option before. Well, Manny spoke before about fighting the first time. I think I offered him, 40 million. I don't know if it was, but I told him I would wire him 20 million within 48 hours. And then at that particular time, he said he wanted 50-50, and he got off the phone. And at that time, I think I was going to make for that fight probably 75 million at that time, somewhere upwards of 75 million. But it's all about the timing. Took my time, I waited, we communicated. Our investments leading up to the fight that week, we made somewhere upwards of 30 million cash. And then, you know, for the Canelo fight, the smart team, once again, just with those two fights, Canelo and the Pacquiao fight, 400 million, just with those two fights. But it's all, you know, I was blessed. I think luck was on my side. I was blessed. All about timing. I came around at the right time. I was around in the 90s. Before I built my fan base, before all this social media, I had already built the fan base. It wasn't easy.
Floyd Mayweather's path to financial success was shaped by a difficult upbringing. With his father incarcerated for much of his childhood, Mayweather often says he had to raise himself. Despite these challenges, he found purpose in boxing, a sport that led to his remarkable success. His father, a former boxer, taught him the value of discipline and focus.
Working odd jobs, just trying to make ends meet, mother on drugs, and I beat on my odds to get to where I'm at today. So it just wasn't always the nice cars, the flashy jewelry, and a lot of money. So I'm more than just that, you know. I wake up in the morning just like you guys. I take a shower, I put on my clothes just like everyone else. And I try to make a better way for my family every day.
A defining trait of Mayweather's personality is his relentless pursuit of more, captured in his famous quote, "It's never good enough." This drive to constantly improve and achieve greater success is admirable, but it also appears to play a role in his ongoing financial challenges.